Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. How are you doing, baby dolls? Enjoying the weekend? We're about to start the week. And when we do start the week, everyone is expecting more Iran and Israel explosions, which have been occurring. Apparently, there's a few weeks left of the missiles. That's what Crypto Banter Randy Boo says. I'm not really sure. The Bitcoin price is about to flip red on the monthly, about 104,000 American dollars. Remember, we won't be surprised if we have to skits a bit down and it pretty much just, makes us wait a bit longer. Here is the weekly chart of Bitcoin. So it is always possible that we come back, we do one more of these final rinses again. I know we keep saying final rinse over and over again, but what else really can we do, friends? Just been waiting and waiting what seemingly feels like forever. Everyone's been hoping that this thing finally gets on the wave. Now you have a war to freaking worry about, whatever. This is the Ethereum chart, still stuck in this massive triangle. We hope that it cranks on through. Remember, Ethereum is still in its third cycle curse. We can really perhaps see that the ETH-BTC ratio has cucked us beyond oblivion. And it's still sitting at a very, very, very low price. What's it going to take, though? I mean, I've got some more cracking news coming on. Like, is MicroStrategy going to buy more Bitcoin? What's going on with real-world assets and tokenization? More for you is coming along the way. This is the Ethereum dominance, Link ETH, right? And I just can't believe, man, this thing was meant to go up. Man, friends, it's literally gone nowhere for freaking, look at that long, man. 1, 2, 3, 4 years, bro. 4 long years. Why can't you go up? Oh, no, let's come back down again. Jeez, man. That's why you got to be careful with leverage, because you always have this feeling like at any moment, look, this thing could have, friends, just done this. It could have. Yes, could have done that. No, it could have went here. No, oh, no. You know what I mean? Like just 4 or 5 times, endless and endless and endless. That's makes me think that when we do finally move up, it'll be everyone on the sidelines and everyone comes in at once and then it's all over. That's why I'm thinking something about that. I'm thinking we'll get an emphatic push like that across all assets pretty much in cryptocurrency land. Would you like to see the Ethereum weekly chart? Have you ever seen anything like this? Check it out. Week, everywhere, up and down, week. Remember, Ethereum is just being heavy weighed down by the Bitcoin price and the sentiment out here. We have that CME gap, remember? CME gap 3,200, and then the big bubbles here that you're showing are these 3,800 price zone out here, which is, that's the big daddy one. That's the one we really got to collect. We got to crack on through. So holding here in this 2,500, I mean, like everything's just garbage right now. Nothing else really much else to do. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Once again, going back for its highs forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Yeah, man, I just can't believe it. It's over and over and over again every single day. It's just like there's zero value for altcoins. It's like it just retraced 8 years of life. But man, I'm telling you now, man, I know this. I know markets, dude. When this thing reverses, just be careful of Bitcoin. I'm telling you now, man. When this thing finally comes back the other way, okay, it might take 10 years, 20 years. I don't know. Might be tomorrow. When it finally does, just be careful, man. All I'm saying is be careful. I'm just telling you this unwind. All right, friends, you got to understand. People in there, first you got to get the weak hands who came in late, right? But then you have to test the weak hands who came in halfway. So you have a bigger cohort of people to sell, which means get rid of BTC, right? Because these people, right, they're still like break even here, so they can do the coping. But then what ends up happening is they can just trust me, man. I've seen this market before. How do I know this? Because I've been trapped. I've been trapped fading it the whole way. Like there's been positions, a spread has blown out, and then in the first 4 or 5 hours it's blown out, and then it starts coming back the other way in a big way. And so halfway through the session, probably like 75% of the way of the day session, let's say this 12-hour period, right? Let's say 12 to 14 hour period. Yeah, something blows out 8 hours, and then in the 9th and 10th hour, the spread starts coming back, as in price was high, says it's coming out, we start taking profit, and then it goes a bit too far. All right, and then I've just so many times this has happened for me, man. And then I start cutting, reversing, and it's now hour number 9, hour number 10, okay, hour number 11, and I'm thinking, why am I in this, man? Why didn't I just walk away? Why didn't I just close it? Why? I've said this so many times. I can't tell you, I got PTSD reliving all these memories of when we just had spreads that just literally they start coming back the other way, and then we start cutting, reversing, and then we're caught again, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got the Hail Mary the first time, now we need a second time. And it's kind of funny, friends, what I've done right now on TradingView, I've actually got the Australian 10-year yield, and I've minus the US 10-year yield. So I'm remembering these periods of time where these things, yes, I remember. I know this is a daily chart. I know you can't see it out here, but these are some wild moves. Oh, this is it, man. This is actually, I think this was one of my biggest losses ever, where I went offside. I've never been, I'll tell you a bit more about these later on after crypto moves. This is it. I'm getting PTSD. This is the candle. This is the candle. You gotta understand what the US T-notes, okay, had a whole range, like just a lesson about low volatility, okay? Basically, everyone been trading a certain way for, I'm not joking, like 9 months. Day trading, right? And then there's this one day, what happened was the US retail number, it's quiet, man. The range is low and everything. US retail number came out bad, okay? And who gives a shit about US retail number? But that was, so this thing was already blowing out. It was going a lot. You gotta understand, friends, look at this. The whole year, we're in this range, and in one day, like 3 hours, it just goes up. It just, everything cascaded. I've never said these before. The US T-notes, okay, which the treasuries, it went what we call special. Okay, I've never heard that word before until all the experienced people told me, okay, yeah, these things go special like once every 10 to 20 years. That was, yeah, man, I'll never forget that. So I'm just showing you, man, this type of stuff, right? But like, I didn't get long on the way back, but this is just one of the biggest things. Just a lesson on volatility. Something just went up forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And when it finally came back down, look at this, by the way. Look at this. It was literally, I can't, man, if I could go back and just show you. Okay, I can't use a 12-hour chart, but I'm pretty sure this is it, October 2014, right here. I can't show you a less than daily chart, okay? But you have to take my word on this. I'll never forget this chart, friends. This literally thing, this T-notes, my gosh, bro, this was just wild. And then, like, look at what happening. This was the most disgusting move of all time. Okay, it was literally the biggest thing of all time. We've never seen anything like it. And then what ends up happening is that was the intergalactic top of this, right? Well, because you have to invert it, right? So it was the yield difference. But if you're trading this spread, yeah, this was literally, it never came back. Look at this, 1, 2 years, bro. Literally, that was it. And it was just like the biggest squeeze of all freaking time. Just came back, pop, and again, this was like huge, right? Oh my gosh, there was so many blowouts that night. Multiple accounts were literally ended. People's careers ended on that night. By the way, my career pretty much almost ended, and I didn't get out. I just held, and it came back. Oh man, it was wild. So I don't know why my brain just, I've shown you an example of something I was trading, and this happened in one session, dude. And I was just, yeah. And think about that. That was the intergalactic. It never came back for like the next 2 years. Like it just went bang the other way, right? It reminds me of this Bitcoin dominant stuff. It's like forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And people thinking it's never ever going to come back. And like the longer it goes, that's why I'm like, oh wow, you're really never coming back. Like, this is the thing, friends, because I'm used to trading spreads and all these, okay? If I say something like, oh no, I think it's chopped out, but it keeps going and going and going and going, I know. See, other people think, oh no, you're more wrong. But no, what ends up happening is, because if you're dealing with ratios and spreads, like no, that means when it tops out, like watch out. It's like really, really over when this thing tops out. Now you can't do this for like outright trades. You do these for ratios, okay? Because outright trades, things eventually trend in one direction, But crypto is unique. It has a special own bubble cases and stuff out here compared to traditional markets. Looking at the OTHERS-BTC, still cucked. What else can we really do except moping and coping out here? Still cucked out here, still waiting and waiting and waiting. Let's see what PulseChain has done. This is the PulseChain prices. As I said, 2% around. Nothing really much exciting to see here, friends. We're still waiting for, as we know, the business cycle to crank up. A lot of people, if you check on Twitter, there's a lot of negativity, but it's just red candle vibes, man. Red monthly candle vibes. You don't even need me to tell you that the price looks dog shit. If I put the monthly candle, here you go. It's a red monthly candle as well. Everything's bad. People, what's happening is people are really tying their memories, nightmares, to Richard Hart's marketing from 2021 because it was so powerful. Because they feel like, you know, he promised me the world, and everything's bad, but it's not his fault. Okay, it's not his fault. I'm not defending in anything, friends. I'm just telling you, it's not his fault. Okay, it's the business cycle, you know. And we just have to wait. We literally just have to wait. You literally can't do anything. Like I mentioned to you, imagine you were rotating funds in right now to save your bags. Dude, everybody would be dumping. They're like, oh no, Israel, Palestine. Oh no, Israel, Iran. Is it going to be more missiles? That's what everybody's going to be doing straight away. Okay, we can't do anything. We need, like I said, we need the economic boom part to happen. And like, you know, you have people like Blockchain Backer who believe the economic boom's never going to happen. Because, well, this bull market, it has been running on for the longest in history now. But actually not really when you think about it. There's something about this. See, we had a big correction in the stock market in 2022. It was enormous, okay? And many stocks dropped like, you know, huge percentages. So it dropped 27%. But the thing was, we did not have the unemployment spike. We didn't have that, okay? That was what didn't come out. We got the unemployment spike in the zombie virus here, okay? So the unemployment spike did not happen. Everyone thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen. So there's different ways to rationalize and think about it. It could be, friends. So this is in markets, right? When a black swan event in a yield spread or something happens, when you clear everyone out, the recovery is very smooth sailing. Very smooth. But it doesn't feel smooth. It feels like it's going to destroy you. But if you look at the chart, it looks smooth. So what I'm going to just show you is, let's go look at the unemployment rate. Okay, let's go look at the unemployment rate for America, which everyone's been waiting to basically explode, which hasn't in a long time. See this? This was zombie virus, right? This was zombie virus spike here. Everyone thought, okay, 2022, now we're going to get the real one. Everyone thought that, but we didn't. We're still hanging around here, all right? So this thing, because we had this anomaly, this is how I rationalize it, okay? I've explained this for you before, a few years ago. OG, your friend told me. But what I'm thinking is, this is how markets work, right? Because you had such an aggressive black swan, remember, people lost lives, people lost jobs, people lost businesses, okay? I think what happened is, it's made people very shy to take the next leap again. Very shy. All right, you don't blame them because you just lived through that. Government can shut you down in 2 seconds. You do leverage, doesn't matter because Bitcoin and crypto drops 50% in like literally 6 hours. Stock market, everything, just see you later. You're destroyed. Okay, it can happen. You better not hire all those workers. Could be gone in a few weeks. You never know, right? And I think what ended up happening was this literally left the mark on everyone's psyche. So what ends up happening is, as we move in the economy in the future, people are making very strong decisions, very rational decisions. They're not, like, it's taking longer for them to get to euphoria because they remember of how damaging and destructive this was. Yeah. So pretty much the average business out there, I don't, like, if they're hiring, 1,000 employees, they don't want to get to 1,200. They're like, oh man, look how uncertain the world is, because it's like they remember just when everything went bad, it was horrible and they had to lock everyone up and all these other things out here. And what I'm saying is, it's not even my theory. Do you know this actually has happened in the past, friends? In the Great Depression in 1929 to 1939, it affected people's psychology that much. The silent generation lived through that their savings rate was like higher than its historical average, moving for the next 20 years, that generation, still to today. That's why if you know any daters or shidors who did live through the Great Depression out there, a lot of them, they refuse to spend a penny. Yeah, because they literally, like, I've heard so many stories where everyone lost their jobs. Everyone is literally like, there's no more chairs in the house. You literally got to sit on milk crates, right? So that's the type of stuff that and affected them for a very, very long time. And they had to live through the war as well. So it affects you. Right, but actually what ends up happening is they have the baby boomers. So the silent generation give birth to the baby boomers, and then the baby boomers have the biggest boom of all time. Because the baby boomers were like a new generation of people. They did not have all the memories of the Great Depression. They're born in the 60s and 70s, right? Actually, in the 60s, and they come and they have actually the biggest spending boost altogether. They all come in at once. Okay, so that's what we're seeing now, and it might be that's something just like, you know, when looking at demographics and everything out here, we might witnessing this thing was such a big shock to everyone. People are going to be cautious for a while. And they have been, right? That's how, kind of explaining the domino effect and how these cycles play out. Now, it doesn't mean, you know, we'll never have a cycle or anything ever again, but it could mean that we're like, you know, we're not going to do this rollover that everyone's expecting. So what everyone's expecting is they're expecting any day now there's going to be a recession and this unemployment rate is going to spike higher and everything's going to drop down, right? And they're just expecting it. They're being expected every single time. But we might not get something like that. In fact, what we might get is, friends, maybe AI eats so many jobs, the unemployment rate goes up a bit and it doesn't do as much damage to the economy as everyone thinks because the economy is so productive. You don't need a lot of your workers. It could be something like that. But how's this going to play into crypto? Well, we just wait and see. We use crypto as the barometer because there's no... The manipulation is from the stock market Ponzi and the money printing is not coming into crypto directly. We are like the canary in the coal mine. And that's why we hope we do get to this, you know, final point of true exotic euphoria. Coinbase App Store ranking #1. You know what I mean? All those big shebangs out here. We're looking for that eventually as we go on. But the stock market, very much harder to time. But maybe crypto is going to be the signal for that. And like what helps as well, friends, we've got to play some Pumpy G music. What helps is we have AI. So we actually do have a world-changing, life-changing technology right here. It's not guessing anymore. It is actually here. If you use it for 2 seconds, you know, oh, wow, this thing actually knows everything, right? And it's improving. We're getting smarter. That's just amazing things. So there's never been in history any time where the life-changing technology did not end in a bubble mania. 100% of the time. Every life-changing technology, radio, TV, whatever it is, all the technology, internet, anything that go on to change life, cars, it does have a bubble mania. Trains, friends. Remember train stock mania? I made a whole video on that last year. Remember railway mania, they call it. Literally trains, friends. Railway mania. Just to show you. Here you go. Railway mania. Intense speculative investment in railway companies during the 1840s in the United Kingdom, characterized by a rapid boom and subsequent bust in railway stock prices. I just want to show you the pictures that they made, friends, so you can just see. Look at all these. They made these graphic images to show you how evil it was and all this speculation. Like, it's crazy. The railway juggernaut. These pictures out here. They showed all these like charlatans. Look at these, like all these, like these fat people, like this guy and this fat train derailing. It's kind of funny, all these pictures that they drew out here. Leave it to mum. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. There, this is a picture. Leave it to me. I'll line up the farmer vote in this state like a big fat cat rich guy. The old gang. And here's a farmer, the lowly farmer. There's a storm brewing. Kind of funny that they show these stuff out here. So as you get to see, look, this is it, man. Look, just AI is it. AI is it. Just the new technology bubble bursted, you know, but had the mania first, right? We had to end with pets.com. That's why with technology, AI, we have not seen it hit silly level stuff. We haven't seen any silly valuations. We've just seen things go up, you know? So we'll see how that all plays out. Now, baby dolls, check this out. This is a cycle performance of Bitcoin on the chart from Glassnode. Now, as you can see, right, 2015 to 2018, this is from the cycle low to the high, okay? From the low to the high. This was 1,000%, 11x. This was 1,000%, 11x. Currently, we are on 7.5x. Now, why a lot of us got cucked in 2021, 2022 is because pretty much everyone, the previous cycle, it did the 1,000% by this point. It did like the 11x. Yeah, and then everyone thought, well, in 2017, it hit 100x. So it did another 10x from that point. It did another 10. So it did the first 10, right? So Bitcoin went from 180 bucks, now it's 1,800. And then it did another 10 by the end of the year in 2017. Finished at 18,000, yeah. What we had was his junk. So what we had was, if you do 11 times, say 3,500, we had like a $40,000 BTC, right? Literally $40,000. So everyone thought, wait a minute, you know, we did 10x in the last cycle. You know, maybe we'll do like another, you know, 3 or 4x for this one, or 5. Everyone thought that. So if you do that number times about 38 to 40,000, you get about 150K. Yeah, didn't get there, did it? It stopped at like literally 60 to 70, bang, it was all over straight away. Okay, so maybe we're going to get something similar. I mean, like, even if we get a 1,000% run from our cycle low, it will take us to 170,000. So what I'll do now, I'll now show you 1,000% going up. There you go, 170,000. It's literally right here if we get something like that. Okay, so that's what it would be. Now, I want to also tell you, remember the growth rates, man. These things are very interesting when I compute these. When you start to look at Bitcoin at these capital growth rates and stuff out here, in the past, from 2020 to 2024, halvening to halvening, Bitcoin grew 67%. So that's how much it grew, all right? So I've got a conservative number here. I mean, like, maybe it's not even really conservative. Maybe it actually does grow like this, 40%. But if you do 40% from halvening to halvening, you get a 250K BTC. However, that's 250K by the next halvening. So February 2028. Okay, so what does it do in the meantime? Because what we have seen, this is what shocked everybody. We didn't get the blow off in 2021 and then do the lower high by the halvening. Okay, we actually just went off, truncated, and then we came back for the halvening. You know, so if that repeated again, it would be like by the end of this year, a 180K BTC, right? Everyone thinks it's over. That might be like everyone thinks it's over in 2026. Something happens, but then 2027 and 2028, Bitcoin actually finds a way to go up. It might be something like that. That will shock everybody, you know? I think about the context of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, friends, his term ends at the end of 2028. Okay, so he still has time to make this thing go up and have this period of down and actually recover it if they do big spending. So we'll be watching, obviously, Bitcoin dominance. So why I've shown you that scenario is that is one way that the Bitcoin dominance stays surprisingly weak in the next few years to come. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll actually show you the Bitcoin dominance of something that can happen. Okay, like this. And then if Bitcoin dominance went down, remember, friends, Bitcoin dominance, it could go down in this year and everyone thinks like, oh wow, like everyone thinks it's like literally over. But then it like starts to recover up. It could happen like that. But what ends up happening is, remember, Bitcoin's going to start to make its run and be like 250K by 2028. So we could see something like that. That would shock everyone, right? And it would make, honestly, you know markets, it makes sense. Think of all these people who have come in to FOMO buy Bitcoin on leverage, on ETFs and everything out here, whilst we have AI booming, right? Because Bitcoin's got nothing to do with AI. We have AI boom that Bitcoin's probably got to do with altcoins more than that. And then you're going to have stablecoin super cycle. You're going to have more stablecoins come in. You're going to have more swapping, more USDC. Everyone's going to hand out yield, US savings accounts, spending money, digital stuff. You see what I mean? Like, so it makes sense for it to line up like that. But all of this right now is wishful thinking. We're just praying for the business cycle to get up off these lows and continue higher. I have a post here as well from Michael Chad Saylor. He hints at another Bitcoin purchase. He says bigger dots are better. So this is the Michael Saylor chart from SaylorTracker.com. Michael Saylor here, friends. Very interesting. What I noticed is the MicroStrategy chart price. They have the NAV premium on the website. So it's trading at 1.71x, which means Bitcoin is not $100,000 if you buy MicroStrategy. Bitcoin is actually $160,000 $70,000. So you might say, hey, what's going on here? Why is there such a big premium? I mean, you know, there's a bullish case and a bearish case. The bullish case, people believe, is that MicroStrategy will continue to outperform Bitcoin. I say fat chance next to zero. The bearish case is that a lot of lazy people who don't want to do self-custody, who don't actually want to learn crypto, they're getting FOMO by Michael Saylor on TV and $30 million price targets and everything out here. All the TradFi people, they've had stock market profits. So they've rotated because they're feeling good from stock market. They rotated. They're buying MicroStrategy shares over time. And they have very, very high targets for that. But yeah, they're happy to pay a premium because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay. Now you ask them, they go, oh, we do know what we're doing. I don't think you know what you're doing, bro. When something is 70% more expensive, you know what I mean? What are you doing, dude? Why are you buying $170,000 BTC? By the way, you know that's cheap. Friends, it was trading at 3x premium. So when Bitcoin was, I forgot the number. When Bitcoin was like 80,000, what was this? $240,000 BTC. So, look, we all know how it's going to end in the mania. Just like what happened to Grayscale. The premium was the premium until it stopped one day and it was gone forever. It traded at 20, 30, 40% premium. So when Bitcoin was 10,000, people were buying Bitcoin at 14K. And then the premium went to zero, and then it went to a discount of 50% in the bear market. But the discount started as the bull market pretty much began. Let me show you this chart right here. Look at this. See the green? That's premium. And then look, pretty much at the top, that's it. Zero. Goodbye. Zero. Wow. That's crazy, man. As 2021 starts. Wait, it would be spooky because no one's thinking about this. It would be crazy, friends, if when Bitcoin, let's say when MicroStrategy, when the gap of the premium goes to actually just a 1x, it's like, so 0% gain, it's just neutral. That might be the end of the bull market. Because look what happened to Grayscale out here. If we go look at this exact line, okay? So if you want to know something, this was the actual top near here, right? This was where I think Dogecoin Mania was around here. Great. This is the thing is though, you're looking at Grayscale's actual Bitcoin price. So this is obviously everything going down in the China band. The China band was here. So this is Dogecoin Mania. Okay, so that might be it. Okay, we have the final 2 to 3 months when the discount actually starts. Well, when it's actually trading at normal. Well, normal, as in like you don't get any extra premium for it. I'll show you another chart of it. This is what it looks like with month to month. So we can see it here. You can see this January. And look what ends up happening. The premium or the discount. So just to show you the chart, actually, let's go back here. Just so we know. Okay. This chart here, let's do this. Let's do this nice and neat together. Just so we see it carefully. This line is 2021 starting. This line is 2022 starting. This is the middle of the year. Okay, we already know everything was dead by this point, right? So look how much it lasted before it was all over. Right here. It's exactly this period. Actually, thank you to Mr. Dildo Leclerc, because I've seen that he's posted this chart. You get to see it there. So that might be like a unique signal, all right? Which I'm considering adding it potentially to at one of our exotic top signals. Yeah, and just a friendly reminder as well. On top of that, I'm gonna make for you soon an exotic top signal list update. Right, maybe we'll do it in like in a few days or something. But it's remember, it's got the Nasdaq 100 listing on it now. Okay, that might be what I'm thinking about adding to the top signal list. I already have made posts on it, but so I'm leaning towards that because I want to spend some time thinking about it a bit, right? Because you just don't want to add 3,000 things and then like only 5 ping and. You know what I mean? Because like if you have something like the US Fed prints money and actually starts buying, you know, that might not, you don't want to just definitely wait for that, you know, but that might be a possibility where they pressure the US Fed, Jay Powell, to say, yeah, we might think about it. Just that's it. And then as soon as they say, yeah, we might think about it, that's it. It's leaked into the universe, and people front run that. All the weekends, the final weekends to get in, because you believe so little in freaking crypto. You need the US Fed to actually come in and buy. So yeah, those are the things we're just thinking about out here. And the good thing is, it's good exercise as well, so you know what you're doing in terms of like, you're not just a deer in the headlights at all times. Even though we're just it's a lot of things outside of our control. I want to show you this. Bitwiser's Jeff Park says owning one Bitcoin is the new American dream for younger investors. Now, Jeff Park, friends, turbo bearish on altcoins. Turbo bearish. Every time there's an interview with him now, he believes that altcoin's never going to have an alt season. He says that Bitcoin dominance is going like 70, 90%. Maybe not 90. I think he said above 70. He goes, because his rationale is that all the leverage that people would do for altcoins, they're now doing in call options trading on Deribit, and they're doing it now by buying MicroStrategy and the Bitcoin Treasury bubble shares. I think that's not going to happen. I think that the stock market Ponzi profit rotators, they're the ones buying MicroStrategy, and they're just the new Grayscale premium of this cycle, and it's probably going to trade at zero. Like, you can't. How can you outperform Bitcoin, bro? What does your company do? If you could outperform Bitcoin, you'd be doing it. It's just so hard to consistently destroy these and win these things over time, man. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes to that. I still think that Bitcoin dominance is high. Yeah, there is an American dream. Oh, I've only had one Bitcoin. Yeah, they're saying that now, bro. Wait till the Bitcoin dominance goes down. Then it'll be like, oh, I wish I had 10 Ethereum. HSBC Hong Kong is pushing blockchain efforts in custody, tokenization, and bond issuance. They expect real-world asset tokenization on public chains to surge in 2 to 5 years. Stablecoin supercycle, real-world assets, tokenizing the world, coming in. Because remember, if you're going to tokenize all this stuff, you need bank accounts, right? Bank accounts, stablecoin supercycle. It all ties in. Chainlink's meant to be a big beneficiary of that. You need the business cycle up. That's it. Every single day, I remind you, we need the business cycle up. Fundamentals, is not real, or is real. Bombing Iran and Iran bombing back, whatever. Okay, just none of this is going to basically play out with any conclusion until we get that PMI up. We need an economic boom. The Fed's next rate decision is going to drop this Wednesday. So it's kind of funny, bro. These trash news media, if you watch some of your highest value content, okay, just some of it, just expose yourself to some of the highest value content in crypto, you would know there is no point asking if the Fed's going to do anything or not. Bro, it's literally priced into the market right now. There is a 98% chance, 97% chance of no change, okay? If they're going to do something, they come out and they let you know. They come out and they go, yeah, market's looking a bit weak, isn't it? That's what they say. And then that's their way of like moving it, okay? That's what they do. Right now, no change. No change. What they do is, friends, it's what the Fed does is, okay, they release the rates and then the minutes. They leave the rates unchanged, but then the minutes to boost the market a bit. They'll say, oh, we might be concerned about some weakness overseas, maybe. And then the market's like, oh, that means they're going to cut rates. Like, you know what I mean? That like just creates a bit of a bid. That's all. They have these words of manipulation and stuff out here. But it's none of our concern. ByBit CEO Benny Boozoo has officially unveiled ByReal, its first on-chain DEX on Solana, launching this month. So HyperLiquid has had such fantastic success that I guess ByBit, they want to launch their own on-chain DEX, which probably means Binance is going to have to do it as well. Okay, so they're going to have to launch on-chain DEXs. So check it out, on-chain DEX. So what it's going to do, friends, is literally it's leverage trading on-chain. They're going to probably share books of liquidity and stuff out here for scalping and do these listings. I don't know how the listing process is going to happen with any of these coins to do leverage and things out here. Just to remind you, yes, you're sticking to altcoins, add to altcoin stuff. So many times, man, Like, let's say like some of you dream like, oh, I wish I could turn my like, you know, let's say you have $10,000 little pile of money. Like, wow, I wish I could make like, you know, a $1,000 income off it, like by trading every month. Some people have that dream to like grow it. Bro, there are literally altcoins, friends, like they've got like 10 to 20x upside from here. Do you know what I mean? So like if I got, let's say someone just handed me 10 grand, that's what I do. I'm like, dude, PulseChain, core coins, PDI, whatever. Okay, you just go splurt it out. You know what I mean? Even go disperse it out. Not financial advice, just like just go disperse it out, and then like you're gonna outperform them all, man. You're literally you're gonna crush it. It's a matter of time. Like how you're not gonna turn a trading account. Like look, a few people will do this, but out of 1,000 people, what like 5 people will be able to turn their, you know, $10,000 account, maybe make like between 30 to 80K, maybe 5. What are the 995 going to do? They're going to be giving food to the guy who's actually winning. So no matter how you spin it, man, the asymmetric upside is still there. We're here to play that whole cycle. So yeah, Byra will give low slippage, MEV protected swaps at serious speed. So they're doing it on Solana. I'll be honest though, I will be excited. It's just me. Okay, because I like doing swing trading and doing this stuff out here. It's just a pastime. It's not the big money is what we're doing. Literally, it's literally not even like you can't even compare it. Okay, in terms of the odds and everything out here. It would be cool to see if they can put stock market perps and forex. They probably should do forex just to see what happens. Because like, how can you stop it, right? Yeah, that's the whole reason why a lot of these exchanges haven't listed a lot of the stock stuff. You need approval from the CUC Mercantile Exchange. Okay, what if we put it on a DEX now? What if we put it on a DEX? What now? But yeah, then the CUC Mercantile Exchange will probably get the US government to go around and ban all the websites. You'll be banning websites, but people can just use like maybe a VPN. They'll find ways around it. So there has to be they have to change stuff, man. Crypto, it's whack-a-mole everywhere. But you also be careful. Just because you can go and trade, say, Tesla perps, and you can trade the pound yen forex, or you can go trade oil, doesn't mean it's a good idea. You're gonna get the ass handed to you. I mean, I came from that world, right, friends? Crypto's better. You know what I mean? Like, don't go back to the difficult stuff. Okay. By the way, why is crypto better? Crypto trading is actually harder. It's harder because a lot of the edge in people out there in that world, stocks and everything out here, they have daily session timing edge. Okay, a big part of their edge is the daily session stuff. What I mean by that? Well, everyone does the most volume in the first 1 to 2 hours. So in like an 8-hour session or whatever, all the volume gets done the first 2 hours. So what they do is people mark their levels and they do like opening range highs. So if something is breaking up through the high, they're like, oh, we're definitely going up today. We're definitely getting low, you know, so that they use these key levels and stuff out here. So it's not easy. Of course, it's hard, but still it's much easier than what's going to happen in the future. And what's going to happen in the future is they're all going to get cucked. Because if the market's open 24/7, which is becoming more and more, the brokers aren't going to wake up and just smash all the volumes at like 8 a.m. for them, you guys in America, for you to trade that first 2 hours bullshit. I think it's going to become like crypto, where you're going to have random weekend moves, where you're going to have random middle parts of the day, up and down. Things will move around at other parts of the day, and it's going to make it very tricky for them. Right? A lot of these people, because a lot of the people, friends, everyone, they wake up at their certain time and they go do the move. Okay, man, like you have to live it with what we do within crypto. Yeah, a lot of the time you just miss the session because the big move happened like when you were gone, and then that's just the big move done, right? So it's going to be interesting how it all changes, but it's going to make crypto more attractive for people. It will, because it turns the rest of the world, especially in America, into 24/7 traders. They're just going to open themselves up to crypto because, oh yeah, crypto's been trading 24/7 forever. We have weekend moves and we have stuff out here. So, and yes, all our correlations to the stock market is probably going to get even higher after that point. So I guess we'll see how it happens here with ByBit. And yeah, it's just showing you that the success of HyperLiquid is so big that everyone else wants to do this now. I'm sure Binance is going to do one, okay? And probably KuCoin. They're probably just going to launch their decentralized DEXs, no KYC. But yeah, please, friends, please just be careful, dude. Just don't. It's not your answer. It's not your answer. For example, friends, on HyperLiquid, it only takes USDC to credit your account. All right? So, like, it's capital allocation. Like, if you have, the way, obviously, the way I see it, if I had $1,000 in my hand, yeah, I'll just go buy spot altcoins because I'm like, okay, well, that's another 10x I can see in the future at some point. maybe next century, right? But the odds of someone turning that 1K into 10K by leverage trading, making all these decisions, gets tougher and tougher over time. So where are we going to go to from here? Let's go and check out Bitcoin on that shorter term time frame. This is where we are now on the daily super trend, just hanging around. Remember, we did liquidate James win out here. I won't be surprised if we come, man, and just do this. I will not be surprised. We flip red on this. Everyone thinks it's over, but then we actually go up, and then pretty much it's the whole fake out. But you never know when it comes to these scenarios. Just be careful. That's all. We just watch ourselves mentally. It's been really draining. But yeah, what can we do now, friends? AI is still eating the world, and so is crypto. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.